Welcome to rounds 13 and 14 of the MB4U.com British Superbike Championship. We're making a return visit here to Oulton Park, and I'm standing on the tarmac. And it's not just any old piece of tarmac. This is the very piece of track which saw the now well-documented and infamous coming together of Chris Walker and Neil Hodgson just a few short weeks ago. It looks wide enough. This is the entry to Lodge Corner. But believe me, when you're fighting for track space, position is vital. That's why it happened. That's why they touched. Are we going to see more of the same today?
During qualifying, the first 5 riders on the grid are inside pole sitter Neil Hodgson's lap record. Hodgson's lap was the fastest ever two-wheel lap around Oulton Park. On the third row there, Crockford, the top privateer, in 11th place, and Steve Plater, struggling, will not race today because he's sustained an injury during qualifying.
Well, round 13, 18 laps then ahead of the riders as they line up. Oh, there's a hand in the air. Neil Hodgson's hand's in the air, Roger. Number 4's got a problem.
Well, there's the clerk of the course talking to him. His machine is being wheeled to the back of the grid and the starting machine is there. There is the team manager, Colin Wright. It appears to me that Hodgson has stalled his machine and has to start from the back of the grid. What
Drama as round 13 gets underway. He has gifted the other 3 men on the front row with a wonderful opportunity to make hay while the sun shines here at Oulton Park. Neil Hodgson, number 4, has started from the back of the pack on his INS Ducati, and he has to really work for a living now. It's number 2, Chris Walker, followed by number 8, Steve Hislop on the red Yamaha. Tucking in behind, it was Hayden, by the look of it, James Hayden, number 5 on the Ducati. Championship leader John Reynolds is where? He's 4th. Then it's Mackenzie. Talk us through it.
This is a rear-facing shot from Chris Walker's bike. You can see how fast Walker is off the grid. Steve Hislop there, bike number 8, cuts across the front of James Hayden as they go round Old Hall Corner for the first time before the plunge down to Cascades.
Hilltop, heads down, heading down towards, there's Mackenzie. And Hodgson, unbelievably, has gone past the number 24 Kawasaki and Marty Craggill. Hodgson is up to 7th place. This is sensational.
Well, Neil Hodgson dominated qualifying from start to finish, even in the wet session. And the riders at the front, the first 4 riders at the front, were all inside the lap record, as we said, as the grid formed up. And it's their chance, really, to make a break. But Hodgson's putting in some sensational laps. But he's got all the work to do now, because it's one thing catching these guys, but it's another thing passing them.
That is absolutely incredible. Number 52, James Toseland, is the Honda filling in the Ducati sandwich there. He is riding that SP1 VTR 1000 Honda brilliantly well, but not well enough to keep Hodgson at bay, because underneath the Honda goes Neil Hodgson. He's now got teammate Neil Mackenzie, number 7, firmly in his sights, and the wily old Scottish fox Mackenzie will not let him past easily. But does he have an answer for Neil Hodgson? 1 second inside his lap record he qualified at, and he gets his Ducati alongside and eases through. Up now along Lakeside Island Bend. They've just gone round now the right-hander, the Shell Oil's hairpin. And through has gone Neil Hodgson. He is now up to 5th place. The Honda of James Toseland hanging on gamely behind Neil Mackenzie. And there, the GSE team boss, Colin Wright, anxiously with the rest of the pit crew, somewhat mesmerised by Neil Hodgson's performance.
Well, I'm not surprised, because Hodgson now has caught this leading quartet. There's something of a traffic jam here, because they don't know that Hodgson is this close, but now they do, because he's already got past James Hayden. That leaves Hislop, John Reynolds and Chris Walker, the leading man, for him to pass. It's absolutely remarkable that he's been able to catch these guys up. Now it looks as though that he's going to be able to go past them, Barry.
Well, Chris Walker's still leading, Hodgson closing in now on John Reynolds, but Steve Hislop, they've worked very hard on that Yamaha over the weeks that have gone by, and it's paying dividends. It is so good, and Steve Hislop knows full well that he's in with a chance of a win here. He's looking closely now in 2nd place at Chris Walker. We're riding with Chris Walker. Look at the angle of lean as they crank over Clay Hill. The next right-hander will be Druids. Under the bridge, it flashes past into the shadow of the trees. Still in 2nd place. Reynolds is in 3rd. Where is number 4, Neil Hodgson? Will he appear? Oh, he's really scrapping hard now. He's going past John Reynolds. Under the bridge up to 3rd place, it's Hodgson. But riding also hard with them is James Hayden. Hayden is forcing on as well. Hodgson relegated back to 4th. In 3rd place then, James Hayden. Look at them side by side over the line, and Hislop looking for the lead on the outside of Chris Walker. Hayden defending that 3rd place from Neil Hodgson. A sensational race, Roger.
It's an incredible race. A huge crowd here at Oulton Park have come to watch this. It is a record crowd today, and they're not disappointed with this action. It's absolutely fantastic. These are the 5 guys at the front that were inside the lap record, and they're not disappointing in this race. As Hodgson comes up the inside now of James Hayden, no, there's no way through there. So Hodgson, like I said, it's one thing catching, but it's another thing passing.
Up to second goes the number 5 Revy Racing Ducati of James Hayden. Steve Hislop being forced just a little bit wide as they go round the bend and down towards Fulston. Would you believe 130 miles an hour they're on that right-hander before they get to the chicane. Hayden then tucked in behind Walker, second place. It's Hislop number 8 in third. Still no, I think Neil Hodgson taking a bit of a rest, but he's getting second wind and he's going for third place and taking it. Up to third goes Neil Hodgson. That Rob Frost, who is a stand-in for Shane Byrne on the number 16 Honda SP1, has dumped it on the grass, but the rider is fit and well. James Hayden leads the race. He is out in front. Hislop is behind Hodgson. Hodgson has just gone past Chris Walker into second. They are scrambling all over the tarmac. I can't believe it.
Well, this is lap record stuff. Oh, and Walker was out of the seat there. He lost the back end. That should give Steve Hislop an advantage. We're on board with Walker looking backwards, but Hislop can't quite make it through at Island Bend. So Chris Walker recovered remarkably then, and Hodgson's taken the lead. So Hodgson now has gone from the back of the grid, from last place on the grid, to lead this race.
Well, we were talking just before the race, and it's only a few years ago that the lap speeds here were some 4 or 5 seconds slower than they are now. Such is the pace of the modern machinery, such is the determination and the physical agility of the riders, and none more so than the number 4, Neil Hodgson, leading this race, who has come from the back of the grid, passing 30 other riders to take the lead on lap 8 of 17. Look at the lead Hodgson has. Roger, this is a display indeed.
Well, sometimes it makes you wonder what a rider can do when they're absolutely pushed to the limit, and I think the fact that Hodgson was fired up to try and catch this bunch, he got such a faster pace throughout the whole race that when he caught them, he's passed them, and they've not upped their pace, and Hodgson's continued his, and that's how come he's got that lead. However, he came into the championship today with a 12-point deficit on John Reynolds, and obviously looking to make that up. There's a long way to go in the championship, but these 25 points, when you can get them, really do count.
It will move him ahead of John Reynolds in the championship standings. As they go through and up towards Lodge Corner on the last lap, on the right-hander of Lodge, Neil Hodgson already celebrating, but it's tooth and nail. Hayden in second, Hislop number 8 in third. John Reynolds is way off the pack in 5th, and it's Chris Walker in 4th, but Neil Hodgson gets the win. 17 laps the distance, a terrific and unbelievable result for Neil Hodgson. And that's the wheelie of the year, and there it is confirmed. Hodgson, Hayden, Hislop, John Reynolds, championship leader, has lost that lead now with 5th place. But a good ride by Toseland in 7th.
Yeah, it's all a bit of a blur, to be honest. You know, I knew it was going to be so difficult from there, and I just pushed so hard those 5 laps, and I couldn't believe that I got into the back of them. Then I had a little bit of a rest, and then tried to get to the front, which I managed to do, and then it was easy once I got to the front. You know, the hard work was passing everybody. There were some wild and wonderful lines out there, and I had lots of moments early on. You know, I was pushing so hard, but thankfully, you know, I pulled it off, and I can't really believe I've done that.
Well, you might not be able to believe you've done it, Neil, but records fall all the time in this championship. But today, we've seen a new record set with a back-to-front victory by Neil Hodgson in round 13. The starter points to the lights. We're on board with Walker. Now, Walker is famous for his lightning starts. Let's see how he's going to do this time. And we're off. This is the rider's eye view down towards Old Hall Corner, and Walker's certainly made the whole shot, closely followed by Neil Hodgson, and Steve Hislop slotted in there third.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see just how hard Neil Hodgson pushes this time, because he hasn't nearly got the same amount of work to do that he did in round 13, having to ride absolutely out of his leathers for the first half of the race coming from the back of the grid. He's got away beautifully in second place. It's the number 4 Ducati I'm talking about, and as they head now towards Island Bend, the left-hander, after which will be the steeply banked right-hand Shellows hairpin, it's number 8, Steve Hislop, in 3rd place. There, number 4, Neil Hodgson in 2nd, making fewer mistakes and determined to get a better result this time. Number 3, John Reynolds, and when I said making mistakes, he knows that 5th wasn't nearly good enough because it dropped him to 2nd place in the championship on 232 points. Hodgson leads the championship on 234, so the championship leader, number 4, Neil Hodgson, in 2nd place. Steve Hislop there. James Hayden, number 5, in 5th. Race leader, though, Chris Walker, must be thinking hard under that helmet. What the dickens do I have to do this time to keep that orange flying machine behind me?
Well, Chris is very good in early parts of races. Not to say he's not good throughout the whole of the race. However, he specialises in getaway good, and he'll know that Neil Hodgson and co are strongly challenging behind him as they come now down to Lodge Corner. Now, tactics play a part in these races. As Ben Atkins there we see, that's John Reynolds' team owner and Roger Marshall team manager, look curiously at the screen, looking to see where their riders are.
And look at the race we've got on our hands now. I somehow think that Neil Hodgson is not under pressure. He's just sitting there watching the back end of Chris Walker. Suzuki has almost through into 3rd place. Goes Steve Hislop, who is riding really well here today. He loves Oulton Park and always goes well. And maybe even when we get to Knock Hill, which is the next round, of course, formerly home ground for the Scotsman, who now incidentally lives in the Isle of Man, but of course he came from Hawick, he might even go better. It's a short circuit by the current day standards, nearly as short as Mallory Park, and we are there too quite early on in the second half of the season. But still, it's Chris Walker, number 2. Reynolds now having that tooth and nail scrap for 3rd place with Steve Hislop. But the first 2, Hodgson and Walker, just beginning to break away as out of the action goes Steve Marks from Guildford. Fortunately, he's okay. Neil Mackenzie, number 7, Hodgson's teammate, retiring his Ducati. They certainly are going at it, so the team manager, or the team owner, Ben Atkins, must be practically pulling his hair out because the riders can easily bring each other down. And this is Chris Walker. Where is Neil Hodgson? Walker staying tight. As Roger Burnett pointed out earlier in the commentary, he's got to ride defensively. The Shell Oils hairpin, beautifully sunny day. You can see the shadow hugging the white line. His knee at that point will be just skimming the rumble strip on the inside, just across the grass. 130 miles an hour, braking hard down towards Fulston chicane, and he's found just a little bit extra, I suspect, this time, Roger.
Well, he came alongside here, Chris Walker. This is Island Bend. You really need to be on the the right-hand side of the track to take that corner. It's a very fast corner, 150 miles an hour through there, so no risks to be taken. Then James Hayden goes wide, so Hayden there cut through on John Reynolds and went wide, so that's lost them a little bit of ground on these 2 leaders. The blue flags are out. The blue flags are out. We've got a slow rider coming through the chicane. And where's James Hayden and John Reynolds? And there they are, so they're line astern still.
Well, blue flags indicating to the tail enders that the fast men are coming through, and that's how quickly they come through. They absolutely rocket past the number 29, Jim Hodgson, the red and yellow Jim Hodgson now, and there he is, just tucking on the back of James Hayden. Again, the blue flags, more tail enders ahead of them. It's Chris Walker with Neil Hodgson. Oh, goodness me, we must not have deja vu here when they come up to Lodge Corner on the last lap. Hodgson surely will remember the episode last time here when he and Chris Walker came together. Very, very hard indeed. Goodness knows how Walker stayed on, but it was a dramatic finish. Walker also very well aware of that. Over the start line he goes again. 2 completely different lines. Chris Walker staying tight. Neil Hodgson just sizing up the outside, away down the Viego. Oh dear me, on the curb Chris Walker hits the white line there and almost stepped off the Susie. And Hodgson going for the lead here, he's on the inside, no, not quite at Cascades. Now squirting up towards Island Bend they will go. They've exited Cascades on the last lap. Hayden in 3rd, Hodgson going hard at Island, he's on the outside this time. Riding tightly, Chris Walker. Out they come. Hayden's gone wide. Reynolds in 3rd again. Hugging the white line again, Chris Walker. He can hear that big 1000cc V-twin Ducati booming behind him as the 750 Suzuki 4 screams through Fulstons. Hodgson, Reynolds closer than he's ever been. maybe just John Reynolds. Talk us through the last 100 yards before we get to the checkered flag, Roger. It's close.
Well, this is down to Nickelbrook. This is one overtaking place, but Hodgson's not close enough there. They now go up over Clay Hill. It's left-handed over here. Then we go into Druids Corner. Keep left, lead left. Now hard on the brakes, down to third gear, 100 miles an hour, knee kissing the tarmac. A big effort out of here is needed if you're going to get alongside Chris Walker to pass him at this corner.
Big wiggles from the Ducati in fourth place. Big wiggles from the Suzuki in the lead. But a wonderfully defensive line from Chris Walker. Has Neil Hodgson's Ducati got the power as they punch over dearly to the flag? It's a wave of the leg for Chris Walker on the Suzuki. Second place for Hodgson. So 25 points go to Walker. He is thrilled. John Reynolds got third. And the Suzuki boss, Paul Denning, could not be more pleased. And Walker celebrates in customary style with a massive burnout. Confirmation of that result. Unbelievable race. Just look how close they all were. Walker got the win. Hayden was fourth. Hislop was fifth. And Toseland a brilliant sixth. And talking of close, it's bunched the table up nicely, but Hodgson, the new championship leader from Reynolds. Walker now has his eyes clearly on the title with that ride, and it was the ride of a lifetime for Chris Walker. He came in with the win, and what a ride it was. We just hope then that Chris Walker has got his breath back.
I felt like I'd given it my all, but it just wasn't me, out in the first race, and I was disappointed with myself more than anything, not so much the result. And second race I was determined to make amends, and fortunately it paid off. Brilliant.
On the top of the podium, Chris Walker, and his face tells the story there. A hard day's racing here at Oulton Park, and it's no coincidence that the top three riders on the podium are a top three in the championship.